Hi, Pam from Wonderland here. I was riding my bike today. It's a nice sunny Sunday, and I was changing into my capris because I didn't want my jeans to tangle in the chain. And I was looking down at my leg. I'm hoping I can show you this. Looking down at, let me get started. I was looking down at my leg, and I thought, you know, my leg is never going to be normal. My leg is always going to be swollen. My leg is always going to be kind of messed up no matter how I get the rest of my body looking. So let me see if I can show you this real quick. I have a scar on either side of my ankle that runs a few inches. It kind of looks like one of those little Frankenstein type scars. I've had that. Let me put my shoe back on. I've had that literally now for my son is 28, a little over 28 years. I got that when I was pregnant with my son, back when I was a teenager in 1983. And what happened was I'd run away from home. I was a young and dumb teenager. Nobody was going to tell me what to do. So I ran away from home. I was homeless, and I was with my boyfriend at the time. Now, some people at times like to remind me that that's probably the most horrible time of my life, and I would want to forget it. And for many years I thought I would want to forget it. But you see, that scar reminds me about that time. And I can look at that scar and I can think about all the horrible things that happened during that time. Or it's a reminder to me of the choices I made during that time. Scars are there. Like today, I even have a cooking scar too. You can learn. You can look at your scars and use them as a reminder of where you've been. Kind of like the rear view mirror concept. Where you've been and where you came from and the lessons you've learned at that time. Some people, have said to me, oh, you probably wish you never had done all that. Never been with that person. And I said, on the contrary, I learned a lot during that time. First of all, I had my son. Love my son. If somebody would have said to me, would you forego everything that happened during that time? No, because I got my son out of that. And my kids are my prized possession. They're not a possession. That sounds bad. Slavery's been done away with. But of all the things that are in my life, my kids are up there at number one. So no, I would never do away or wipe out that time, and it taught me some valuable lessons. It taught me the lesson of how much you can appreciate life, how much you can value life. I almost threw my life away during that time because I just couldn't take life any longer. And sometimes life is really hard. It's really tough. And it's at those moments we find out what we're made of. We really do. And you can either give up, or you can look at what's put in front of you and learn from it. So when I look down at my leg, now it's always going to be swollen. I will never walk the catwalk and be a model. I know this. It's not going to destroy me. But I look down at that and I recall I almost threw it all away. And I recall that I got my son out of that. The best reward that came out of that was my son. So, scars are there when you're looking at the past. I guess what I'm saying is when you're looking at the past, we can all sit there and say, well, I have this eating addiction and eating disorder because, this happened to me growing up. And, honestly, during that time, because I was homeless, I do have a lot of food issues during that time. I tend to hoard food. I tend to get a little scared that I'm not going to have food now. Oh, my ex-husband could tell you, you know, when mayonnaise would go on sale, I'd like end up buying 10 of them because God knows we can't run out of mayonnaise because, you know, I had that thing in the back of my head of I remembered when I was homeless. Because God knows when you're homeless you need mayonnaise. So, like I said, you have to look beyond some of our things in the past, and we have to learn from some of our things in the past. And we have to value the people from our past, even though we may truly dislike them. I don't want to use the word hate. We may truly dislike some of these people, and I don't hate anybody. And look at some of the people in our lives from different times as role models. A role model doesn't necessarily have to be of something great and wonderful. It can also be of something you don't want to become. So instead of looking at all the people that negatively impacted you as just such these horrible people, look at it as to a huge lesson you've learned. And when you look at a scar, remember how you got it. Did you learn anything from it? This is part of the reason I like tattoos, because I guess you could call them, they're kind of self-imposed scars. And one of the big things I'm known for is my fleur-de-lis tattoo. And on either side of it, I have a Latin phrase, sine me tu. And what that means is go forward without fear. I got the tattoo back in 2006, which you've heard me talk about repeatedly. And even during my weight loss, when times would get a little tough, or something would get a little scary, quite literally, I would look down at my arm, my fleur-de-lis, and the phrase, sine me tu. And it would help me get through. Sometimes all you need is that little affirmation to help you get through, whether it's a word on a post-it note, or a phrase you heard, or whatever, or if you choose to get a tattoo. It's that little thing, that little anchor, if you will, to say, yeah, you can get through this. So, when you're looking at, you know, even the scars, here's a perfect example. The stretch marks, I have stretch marks on my stomach. You know, I should just show you. I have stretch marks all over my stomach. I will never get rid of them. And I don't care. You know why? I got most of those stretch marks from my pregnancies, my 2 pregnancies. If it wouldn't have been for those stretch marks, I wouldn't have had my 2 kids. So I'll trade, you know, having some glamorous stomach for having 2 great kids. So, you know, we got to take some of these negative things in our life and turn it into a positive. And some of these things that negatively impacted how we look at food, and learn from it. Don't sit there and cry about how this person, you know, I have people who impact me almost, you know, all the time. And I can, you know, at times I got to step back and I got to say, all right, this person is constantly downing my success during my weight loss journey, or this or that. They're jealous. You know, that's their problem. Focus on you. Learn your lessons. And go forward without fear. So, from my way to Wonderland to your way to Wonderland, it's a great journey. Don't let the bastards get you down. And keep it positive. And I will talk to you later.